Back just in time for our opening face-off. Glad to have you along here at Cooper Field as Richmond in the red and navy blue. Hoya is in the gray and navy blue. And a big game for both of these squads as Aiden Carroll, one of the better ground ball guys you'll see from the attack spot, comes away with that one. Runs down, dealing really at the Fogo spot with some issues at the attack. But his defense is healthy, and they struggled early on against High Point, doing it again today against Richmond as they fall in an early 2-0 hole. Popped ahead by Riley, and he'll pick up the ground ball. Right now, the Hoyas could use not only a good possession, but a goal. Vigu for the first time today. Paddled back, and eventually Chenoy ends up with it. And my old partner Earl Brewer used to talk about the 3-on-3 face. We've seen teams take advantage of it. And close defense group, pretty solid, even though they're young and somewhat inexperienced. Back down by 1. 7th of the season for Kevin Miller, a guy that you didn't really expect to kind of come on as strong as he has. Not the biggest of guys, but we know in the game of lacrosse, those guys can be effective. Sixteenth goal of the year for Marklinger as Richmond wins another face-off. And this is a game that Richmond kind of pointing to. Nerfenberger, the senior, has played a good bit before in his career, albeit again with some pretty solid teams, as McGurran unable to pick that one up, but they'll call a violation on Richmond, and it'll be Hoya ball. So Scharfenberger get some time last week. Again, Hoya's in the gray tops, navy bottoms. Richmond in the red tops and navy bottoms. These teams meeting for a 4th straight season. And there's a face-off win by Van Buren. Chenoy. Hold will be called. And they'll say that's a hold on Chenoy. He can't believe it. Neither can Dan Chamati. Only thing I can think of is possibly when they were fighting for that ball, Chenoy might have had. As Spiders will take another one. As Jack Pilling pumps it off, and now Richmond goes to work. Lead for the Spiders. Their second of the day. Richmond will win it again. As Tommy Stoll will dish it. Richmond, very good year this year, but boy, he has not looked himself the last couple games. 9, and now maybe a chance for another goal. Here comes Chenoy, and that'll be wide of the cage. It will go to the Hoyas, no backup as Moore flings it the other way. And Kevin Miller, both with 2 goals apiece for the Hoyas, as leading scorer Aiden Carroll has been shutouts in the first 30. Richmond wins the opening face-off, and Georgetown trying to get it back, but Banks tried to paddle it ahead, was stuck with 2 men. Richmond gets it back. Right now, numbers, the Hoyas trying to match up. O'Neal, it has been an uneven performance to say the least for Georgetown, especially on the defensive end. We mentioned it before. Face-off man issues health-wise for the Hoyas. Here's Hawes. And some injury issues. And back to a 4-goal game. High winds expected later in the day. But for now, expecting to be dry. Of course, we're right along the river here at Georgetown, so sometimes that can change how weather patterns go. Here's Patrick Krogan. Krogan, second goal today, and back to a 5-point advantage for the Spiders. Face-off win there by Matthew Riley. Remember, the Hoyas delivered with 3 goals today after coming in with just 1. And right now, Georgetown are reeling as they trail 11-5. We mentioned it before. Georgetown, and at the time, maybe a Notre Dame team that we thought was better than maybe they've turned out to be this year, but came back from a 6-goal deficit against the Irish to tie the game. But it just kind of feels different today, where there's a lot really happy with his team's performance today. And the whistle will blow. There'll be a push on Richmond and Chenoy, so Hoya ball as they look to get back into this one, trailing by 7. Space at an open lane and able to beat the Richmond goalie. Good angle from our camera work. Matthew Riley kind of giving the head shake to his wing to say, hey, go over here. This is where it's going. Richmond ends up with it as Stoll will take it the other way. Will he take a shot? He will not. He'll pass it off. And Richmond with the 6-goal lead, more than content. Though for a second it looked like a deficit. Delay here on the face-off, and popped out ahead and will end up with the Hoyas. Chenoy with a clean win. Will he take the shot? He goes off the pipe, ricochet, and now instead of shooting it, Gyllenhaal decides to let his team play and give the grad student the animated discussion down the sidelines between Kevin Warren and John Hogan, his offensive coordinator. Of course, Coach Hogan came from Richmond, the associate head coach for this Hoya team. Give congratulations to assistant David Shriver. Actually had a new son born a couple weeks ago. So he ended up flying with the team. I believe it was the Albany game. Could have been the Brown game. Ended up, his wife went into labor. And you know, that's got to sting Kevin Warren to his core. One of the better defensive coaches in the nation. Just giving up too many wide open. Could use a couple of back-to-back face-off wins as Matthew Riley getting the call. And wow, a lot of contact and no push. McGurran comes up with it. These officials have let them go today. And of course, there you see it, because of the man down. Made it a much easier face-off for Riley with McGurran wide open. Show their stuff today. Huge face-off here. If Riley can win it, the Hoyas might have a shot. And it'll be a Hoya win. Here's Herb. And in front, and it's a goal! We got a game going on here. Fulton Bayman from Herb. It's a 1-goal contest. Well, Kevin Warren would have loved to have seen his Hoyas wake up a little bit earlier, but they got a shot. As Herb, this is the transition that Kevin Warren wants to see from his defenders. Finds a man in front. Bayman beats Vigu. Everyone on their feet. A huge face-off right here. And Hoyas come away with it. It's Banks. Kevin Warren takes the timeout, and Georgetown will have their chance. And all the momentum is wearing blue and gray right now. We'll keep it right here as Richmond up 13-12. Remember, the Spiders would lose last week by a 13-12 score in double overtime.